In SIS 2.0, some parts consists give you the option to view the graphic in a 3D image. By default, whenever I click on a parts group, the 2D image is going to populate on my screen first. So to know if you have a 3D option, at the very top of the graphic, you'll see this 3D box, and if I hover over it, you can see it says click to see 3D image, and that'll bring me into the 3D graphic. Just to the left of that is a black square, so if I just want to go to the 2D image like we're seeing here, once I'm in that 3D image, I can click out of it just by clicking on that black square. It brings me back to this default 2D image. So let's take a look at this 3D image. So I did click on it, just give it a couple seconds to upload. The load bar comes up, and now my graphic is ready to go. So if you do click on that, nothing happens at first, just give it a second. It just takes a little bit for it to come up on your screen. So like I said before, this is going to behave a little different than your 2D graphic. I can use the wheel on my mouse to zoom in and out. So as I roll that back and forth, you can see it zooms in and out on the consist, on the graphic. There's also the magnifying glass in your upper left to zoom in and out on this graphic. If I need to move the whole consist around within the frame of the graphic, I'll press and hold the control button on my keyboard, and then I'll right click and hold on my mouse, and it brings up my hand cursor. Then I can move the whole image around on my screen. I can also rotate this whole image around on different planes. So if I just right click and hold the mouse, you can see the whole image rotates around, and I can get different views of the consist if it offers a better look at the parts that I'm trying to order. As I hover over different parts in this graphic, you can see they're highlighted. If I click on one of those parts, you'll see a 3D map that comes up, and you'll also see that a description and the part number comes up of the part I just clicked on. So that's actually very helpful in this area. You can see there's 3 different parts. There's the manifold, there's these valves in here, and then there's these bolts if I hover over one of the bolts. So that's a good confirmation that I did click on what I was aiming at, so I can have a better look at that part. So aside from being able to rotate the whole consist around on a different axis, I can take a part and move that and view it independently and move that around independently from the rest of the graphic. So as you see, I pulled, in this case, I pulled that manifold away from those different valves, and the different bolts, those kind of stayed in place as how they're viewed in the system. So it's another advantage there is you can take a look, if I move things out of the way, on what the individual part should look like. You don't have that option in the 2D graphic. So let me click on this again. I'll bring back up that 3D map. I'll zoom in some. Now I can rotate this part around on different planes, on different axes. So if I hover over any of the parts of this map and then left click and hold, it'll rotate. I can move my mouse around to rotate that around, to have a different view of what the physical part might look like. So let me click on this other side so I can move it this way. Sometimes when you release the mouse, it highlights everything in the consist. So just to get back to where you were, just left click anywhere in this white open field. It unhighlights everything, and then you can click back on the part you were looking for to get back to what you were doing. You can view this part different angles. To reset this part back into the system, so I don't have, if I start moving parts around everywhere, I kind of lose sight of what the whole system should look like. There's a reset button up here. When I click that reset button, it does zoom it out. So you just have to zoom it back in, and then again, hold your control, right click your mouse, and you can move that consist back to the center of the screen and then get back to what you were doing. To go back to regular 2D image, if you don't want to view in 3D anymore, again, just click that black box. It brings you back to the 2D image. So like I said, not every machine is going to have a 3D graphic option. And then not every parts consist for a machine that does have some 3D graphic options is going to offer that option. Again, to know whether it does offer you that view, you'll have this 3D box up at the top.